Well, namaste to you. If you don't know me, I'm Vanessa Rudge from Being Yoga. This is a 20-minute core practice. So we'll be using the breath to strengthen the core. And if you place one hand onto your belly and just notice that as you inhale, the belly softens and expands. And with the exhalation, you can actually draw the navel to the spine and the pelvic floor lifts. This is Mula Bandha. And as you inhale, the belly softens again. So we'll be doing most of our active movements with the exhalation, and it may be a little quicker than our Being Yoga flow classes, but not as quick as the Pilates panting breath. So come on onto your back, and let's once again connect into that belly breath. The inhalation to feel your belly soften, placing that hand onto the belly, knees are bent up. And as you exhale, feel the navel draw to the spine and even press the lower back into the floor. Notice the pelvic tilts as well. Inhale, breathe down into the belly, feel the softening there. And as you exhale, a strong active core, press the lower back into the floor. Feel the pelvic floor naturally draw in. Inhale again, feel the lower back lift away from the floor a little. And now as you exhale, this time, rather than pressing the lower back into the floor, keep enough space there that you could have a butterfly under there and not squish it. And inhale to have that soft belly and even the pelvic tilt a little. And as you exhale, rather than pressing the lower back down, have a little bit of space there and cinch in through the side waist as well. We'll do a few more of those. This is the main activation. So inhale, soft belly, and exhale, and then maintaining that little bit of space, cinch in through the side waist, feel the pubic bone lift to the navel, and again, soften. And even the hip bones, they can draw into the midline. So then if you're able to, with your exhalation, hold all of that activation, bring the hands alongside the hips and take one leg up and then the other leg up into a tabletop position. So tabletop, the thighs are vertical. And as you exhale again, navel towards the spine, but rather than flattening the lower back, preserve the natural curves of the lower back. All right, so then with the breath, as you exhale now, extend the right leg out to about a 45-degree angle, and then inhaling back in. And exhaling, left leg extends out. Keep that activation through the core, both through the inhale and the exhale, even bringing one hand up onto the belly if you'd like to ensure that there is activation here. So what does tend to happen is this knee creeps in. It's not a bicycle movement. You come to tabletop and then extend out. So this knee, it wants to come in, keep it away from you. All right, so if you are happy with that one, you can stick with it. If you're quite feeling strong and want to take it further, then interlace the fingers behind the back of the head. And as the leg extends out, you can lift the head and keep the elbows wide. Exhaling, and then look down at your belly. So when we work our rectus abdominis, they want to push out, they pooch the belly out. But actually here, you want to think of transversus abdominis, which is our girdle muscle that wraps all the way around, and that draws in. So even look down at your belly and will it in. All right, so taking it further, if you wanted to, when the right leg straightens, take the right arm to the outside of the left leg and then back into that tabletop position. So this may be too much, and you could just be working like this with toes to the floor, or taking a break in bridge pose if you want to, but otherwise we'll keep going for a few more. And then let's come back into center, hug the knees into the belly and lower the feet onto the earth. Let's stretch up into bridge pose. Inhale and just take a few belly breaths here, stretching out through the abdominals. Feel that warmth. Manipura is this fire center, the element of fire brimming through the body. And then exhaling and lowering down, touch the fingers up to the knees here. And going back and forth a few times. Inhale to lift into a bridge. The yogic sit up, exhaling. And if you do have any lower back issues, then you want to stick with the easier options. But if you're able to, then lifting the legs up and coming into a Navasana position. Yeah, feel free to rock and roll up if you'd like to. And then lowering down to half Navasana, Ardha Navasana, and then rising back up. We'll just do this 3 or 4 times. Exhale down and inhale to lift. Making the movement as smooth as you can. Excellent. And then this time from your Ardha Navasana, lowering yourself all the way down. Rise up into your bridge again, just a few breaths to breathe into the lower belly. Maybe interlacing the fingers here and stretching out through the core for a moment. And then lowering yourself down. I'm going to get you to roll over to face the screen. So whichever arm is on the bottom, it's absolutely fine. For me, it's the right arm. So I'll have the left foot over the top and be with that left foot on the floor, even using the hand to support, or you could stretch the arm up. So we're going to lift up and down a few times. The right foot that's on the floor, the straight leg foot, keep it, the toes drawn back towards you. So inhaling to lift and exhale down. Inhale to lift and exhaling down. And if you wanted to, by all means, you can lift and hold, but otherwise taking this action and really squeezing up the top to get more height. You can get that by pressing the forearm into the floor. Couple more times here. Feel the side waist strengthening. And then lowering down, spin all the way around onto your belly. Sphinx pose. Just remember which arm you did before. Lengthening the chest forward, open through the front of the body. Again, breathe down into the belly to release for a few moments. And then whether you keep the arms like train tracks or go namaste hands, just rise up into a dolphin plank and press down through the forearms. Even feel like you're doming through the upper back. Scoop the tail and imagine shoulders, hips, and heels all in one line. But walk the feet a little wider than hip width apart. And then we'll move from side to side. So you're pivoting the heels from side to side, but also the hips are doming or moving like an arc through the sky, like the summer sun that arcs high through the sky. Maybe exhaling to the side, inhale to center. So like I said, the breaths might be a little quicker. And then coming down, let's stretch out in Sphinx for a moment, or if you want to open out more, maybe a cobra. Send the heart forward. And exhaling to lower. Rise up through hands and knees And if it's available to you, sit back onto the heels. It's not so much about the pose, the sitting position. So if you need to go cross legs, that's fine. We're going to take Agni Sar Kriya, which is a activation through the belly. Now, you can't do this if you're pregnant or have high blood pressure, or if it makes you feel anxious, worried, or gives you anxiety. Please do not practice it. We are holding the breath out. So if you know that's no good for you, please do not do it. So I'll just describe it. We'll take an inhale, exhale everything out. And with the breath out, we hold and brace, chin to the chest, lift the pelvic floor and pump the belly with the breath out. So let's do a couple of these. Agni Sar Kriya. Take an inhale and exhaling. Breath stays out. Chin to chest, lift the pelvic floor, brace, and then pump. So you're pushing the belly in and out. And then inhaling, return the head to center and take a clarifying breath in between. So on the next one, I'm going to be silent because I'm actually going to be doing it. So exhale everything out, breath stays out. You don't have to have the hand on the belly. I'm just showing you that. So belly pumps as you hold the breath out. So take an inhale, exhale. Do as many as you're able and make sure that the inhale happens without strain. So if you are gasping for the breath, you've probably overdone it. Take a clarifying breath in between. And let's do one more, the sacred three. So inhale, exhale. Chin to chest, lift the pelvic floor. And then releasing with an inhale. You should feel all zingy with this energy and prana from the practice. Agni Sar Kriya. It's a precursor to Nauli, where they're doing the undulations through the stomach. So let's come back down onto our belly and come back into Sphinx pose. Either go namaste hands or with your train tracks, and then rise up into this dolphin plank, once again with the feet wider than hip width apart. So then we're going to take the heels to one side, it doesn't matter, and stack the feet and holding here. And then moving up and down. So exhale to lift and inhale lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale. So I call this one the muffin top buster. And then turning back through center, rest if you need to, or going to the other side, stack the feet, aim for 5, maybe 10. By all means, you could have the bottom knee on the floor as well. And then coming back through center, laying yourself on the earth, stretch out through the belly once more, open body. We want that strength balanced with the opening. So we're not actually looking for a six-pack abs in yoga. You can then lower yourself down because if we had six-pack abs, we wouldn't be able to do wheel pose very well. So always that blend of stretch and strengthening. Isn't that nice to know? All right, sorry for my back, but we're turning over to the other side. So you've got you're probably facing away from the screen, but your body already knows how to do this one. So you're on the forearm, the foot is on the floor, maybe top arm lifted, and again, up and down a few times. So you're using whatever is touching the floor to rise up. Maybe exhale to lift so that you get that maximum activation. Navel towards the spine. Again, somewhere between 5 and 10 of these. And then coming on down and rolling back onto your back here. And pausing. So feeling for that residual strength there. And feel the wonderful heating capacity that the core workout does bring, stoking the inner fire. So it's a great practice in winter. All right, so a few more. We're not done yet. You can place the palms down onto the earth. Get that same activation. So like the hip bones draw into the center, cinching through the side waist, zipping up from the pubic bone to the navel. And not that you're flattening the lower back down, but rather keeping a little pocket of air there. And then extending the legs up to 90 degrees. And taking these little power lifts, so lifting the hips up, little power lifts. If you feel that you need more momentum, you can touch the toes to the floor, but just check it's not this. You want to have the legs almost vertical rather than feet over the face. So little pulses, and ideally not looking at the screen. Keep your eyes directly up. And if you do know candlestick, then you could extend the legs up higher if you wanted to. So this is great for the lower belly. Okay, then from here, again, that zipping up, we'll take a few of these hollow body rocks. So extend the legs up to 90 degrees and get that same activation, and lowering down to 60 degrees to 30 degrees. You could do this one leg at a time if you need to. Notice how the lower back starts to lift, start to engage it down, and then gliding heels to the buttocks and up to the 90 degrees. Keep that awareness in your center, which is actually so stabilizing. Imagine being able to go through your life with a thread of your awareness maintained in your center, and that nothing would be able to bring you out of center because you're so solid and strong. All right, so you can keep doing that, even doing it one leg at a time. Or next time the legs lower down to 30 degrees, lift the head and chest up and take these hollow body rocks. So these are definitely from a circus, zipping up through the entire way from the inner ankle to the chin. And it's not so much momentum, you're not coming up and swinging over, but you keep this hollow dish shape from acrobatics. Oh my goodness. Oh. So you could aim for 10 of those. If you're trying out for the circus, you could probably do 100. Let's take bridge pose again and an optional wheel pose as well. Let the breath continue to flow into and out of the belly. And then when you're ready to, coming on down and placing the hands onto the belly. Both hands on the belly, this metaphoric center. And what does it mean to you to be centered? Maybe it's stable and strong in yourself. Knowing who you are and where other people end, like a boundary. Sensing a yellow orb of light from the bottom of the ribs to the pubic bone, this yellow sun, resplendent sun in the center of your belly. Manipura, or in Chinese, the Hara. Your fire, your determination, your will. And as you open the arms out to the side, just let those warming flames lick down the arms, down the legs, through the heart, warming your entire body, your whole being. And even as there's an expansive quality, notice with it that still there's this thread of awareness. You're so stable in yourself. You can then start to awaken the body, and if you'd like to roll yourself to the side to come on up. And let's let this light shine out. So from the hands at the belly, we'll take one expanded heart breath, sending our blessings out and sending that light out across the planet into the areas that need it most. I thank you all so very much for your practice. Namaste.